Poor old Mickey Mouse is drowning. It's dark down here. It's quite. Good morning and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name's Ian J. Cole. This is a bit of a daily vlog. I don't do this very often. I'm starting to prepare for Edinburgh Fringe Festival, and I thought I'd show you some of the preparations that I'm in. First of all, I'm going to have a cup of tea. Oh, Mickey Mouse is drowning. I'm also looking at different ways that I can manage the camera while I'm in Edinburgh, because although I'll be able to use this camera, which is an M50, I'm also taking my little flip camera as well, and it'll be interesting to see what happens in terms of some of the venues, whether they let me film. I've asked some of them, and in fact one or two of the promoters have actually said that they need to check with the artists and the venues. Some people have already said that they're quite happy for me to film. I'm not going to film the whole shows, but I thought it would be really good if we could film maybe 2 or 3 minutes of each show, maybe the funny bits, but we'll see how that goes. I should just put the microphone on, because this is currently on the internal audio of the actual camera, which is usually pretty good, but let's connect the, where is it? The Rode Micro. Now I bought this because I needed a microphone. Let's just check the dead cat off if it'll come off. So I bought this because I thought a better quality microphone on the camera would be great. The weird thing is, and everybody raves about these, this little bracket thing, I have to say I think it's pretty rubbish, because when you're walking around, especially if you've got the dead cat on, like so, what happens is the camera's doing that all the time. And certainly a couple of experiments I've done of late, the microphone has been hitting the top of the camera. So I have a solution for that hopefully will be here before I go to Edinburgh. But people rave about it, this sort of bracket thing, and I think it's pants, if I'm honest. So anyway, let me connect the mic. So there we are. You may be able to notice a slightly better audio because the mic's on the camera now. The other reason for choosing the Rode, the Rode Micro, was because it didn't need a battery. So basically it runs off the camera battery. You just plug it in and you're good to go. I have noticed that I thought it would be quite good if I could actually use it externally, but I would need a longer cable to run it to the camera. But so far it works great, apart from the bracket, really. So the other thing that I'll be taking to Edinburgh, which was particularly useful when I was recently filming the Hull New Music Biennale, it's not a Biennale, it's a biennial, excuse me, was to take this little thing. I'd originally decided to take the M50, but actually it's big and quite chunky, and because I was sort of having to guerrilla film, these things are pretty old, but I have to say, and I've spoken in previous videos about these, they're This one, I can't remember, I don't actually know which model this one is. They're discontinued now, but you can pick them up fairly cheaply on eBay. They were made originally by don't think they were made by a company called Cisco. This is a Cisco one. I think the company who originally made the flip camera was bought out by Cisco, who promptly released, can't get that to go in there, where's that? There we go. Who promptly released a couple of models for a few years and then discontinued it. So I'm now filming. So this is the M50 with the Rode Micro on the top and the dead cat. The good thing about this little thing, it's so portable, it's so small, comes in its own little bag, and I bought this little stand a few years ago, which is really good. The audio quality, considering this camera is at least 10 years old, is pretty good. I certainly the audio quality is acceptable on some of the whole videos, but this will be my B camera. The only problem I tend to find with it is that when you're walking, you do get a lot of that sort of business of moving up and down, whereas the M50 has, well, we'll find out a bit more when I go for a walk into town, but the M50 has got a stabilizing, which I think I've set. When I first got it, I did go through a couple of tutorials, and one guy said, oh well, you need to do this, but don't use the full stabilizing on the camera. So, time for more tea. The other couple of accessories that we've got here, we've got a Joby Gorilla Pod. I have got a proper camera stand as well, which I will be taking to Edinburgh. I probably don't intend to take that around with me. I will just use the Gorilla Pod. I've not had it very long. I find it's so far it's been okay. I haven't walked around with it a lot, and I think it's going to be quite heavy, but we'll find out as we're wandering around Edinburgh. The other thing is, this is, when I just tapped that, you see how the microphone wobbles. This is part of a, what have I done with the rest of it? Just a sec. Part of a very cheap sort of camera case. My idea is that, and it also comes with a little pouch for putting your lenses in, or a couple of lenses, or a cover in. It also has a strap which I won't use. My thoughts are that I could literally put the camera in that, leave it on the Joby Pod and stick it in a backpack. That's one of the things that I'm thinking might happen, just so that I can move around quickly and the camera doesn't get damaged. We'll see how that works really. I don't want to have to keep taking everything up and down all the time. I'll probably have to I certainly wouldn't be able to get it in my bag with the microphone on. Plus, as I said, my solution for fixing that, we won't know until Monday as to whether that works or not. But that's the initial look at the actual rig. I have bought a proper camera backpack, which is actually bloody huge. I won't carry that around Edinburgh, so I'll probably end up taking two black backpacks. The reason is that for travelling will be brilliant, and I will probably do a separate video on that at some point. I spent quite a lot of time deciding, put this down now, deciding which camera bag to go for. It was not ridiculously expensive, because you can spend hundreds of pounds on camera bags. First camera bag I did buy turned up, nice smallish camera bag, wouldn't take a laptop. Now it's quite important for me to take a laptop, because I'm going to be doing the editing of the film on an evening, hold me well, and then uploading it to YouTube, providing we've got Wi-Fi that's good enough. Now the place we're staying in is student accommodation in the centre, just off the Royal Mile in Edinburgh, and it's due to be have good Wi-Fi, so we'll find out when we get there really. I can upload off my phone, although it'll be pretty slow because we're still on 4G, and I've had very, very poor reception in previous years from my phone in Edinburgh. I'm on EE, and for some reason in that part of Scotland, it might be different now, but certainly last year and the year before, it was appalling. 4G just basically on EE just didn't work. But it'd be interesting to see whether it's any better this year. That's my train of thought. What was I talking about? I remember what it was now. Backpacks. So the first backpack I bought, nice and small, but it would take a laptop. It would take a 13-inch laptop. Now I've got a 13-inch MacBook. It won't take a 13-inch MacBook. It would only take one of those really small PC type laptops. So it was completely useless and did get sent back. I've bought, let me see if I can find it. Right, so here we are. Here is the backpack. It's called a Low Pro 250, BP 250 AW Mark II. £80 UK, so probably about $90, something like that. It's big and chunky, but I have to say, for travelling, which is what it's really going to be used for, great thing is, and I've tried got a nice pocket in there for laptop and a separate pocket for iPad, because I'll be taking both. We have this side, it's split into two parts really. This is the pocket for the camera. Now currently I've taken half of the packing out of here because I've been using it for different things and just trying different versions. Plenty of pockets, and then in the top here you've got a whole another section where you can put your clothes or whatever if you travel light. I'm not quite sure what I use it for, but certainly I'll have a lot of stuff to take with me. The plan is to take one case and that bag. It's very comfortable when it's on, and although it's chunky and lots of padding, it's actually fairly light. So I'm quite impressed with it. The other thing I like, the two reasons for buying it. One is that it has this belt which you can take off. It's just velcroed in. I haven't taken it off yet. And the other thing, which was for me a complete selling point, is when I'm carrying a case, a case with wheels and a thing, it's got these two straps which pop out and they put round, so you can put this on top of the actual suitcase, which I really like the idea of that. But anyway, we'll see how it goes when we actually come to pack it all together. And but like I said, not ridiculously expensive, because you can spend hundreds and hundreds of pounds on camera gig bags. But it's a bit bigger than I would have really liked. I would like something a bit where the profile is a bit smaller. That's why I don't expect to be carrying it around Edinburgh every day, because I won't need everything with me. I'll need everything back at the accommodation, so I'm not going to be carrying a laptop around with me every day, but I'll carry the iPad. I am toying with the idea of taking a small camera bag like this, but we'll see really. Because I'll have other things like bottles of water and things like that. The other thing about this is it's got a built-in rain cover. I don't know if you can see that, which is just tucked in a pocket under the bottom. It's actually, I've not even had it out yet, but it's connected to the whole thing, so you can't lose it. So they sort of thought of everything with it really. Like I say, 80 quid, what's not to like?